What kept you?
My suspender broke.
God save us. Well, look, get this lot up to the manor as quick as you can. It's got to be shipped out with the onions tonight. Go on, off you go. Right, hurry up. What are you doing here?
We were following the path from the village, you see.
Yes, we're hikers.
Yes.
I wonder if you could help us. Which is the quickest way to the graveyard?
Do you know something? I think you found it.
What will happen to Piggy and Charlie? Do the villains suspect anything? And if so, will the district nurse give them the full treatment? Don't miss next week's final gripping episode of Stop! You're Killing Me!
And now over to the Oval for the cricket.
Thank you very much. Well, in fact, we're not at the Oval, as you can see, because unfortunately Bad Light closed play early and we popped round here to the El Mambo restaurant for a quick bite. And I must say the El Mambo is as full tonight as I've ever seen it. Richie, have you ever seen the El Mambo quite as full as this?
No, I don't think I have. It certainly is very full here tonight. I think probably because there are so many people here. I think that would account for it. I should think there must be almost upwards of nearly 30 people here now.
And you, Peter?
Yes, I certainly think that is so. Well, I see the waiter coming towards us now from the cocktail bar end. Moving in between the tables with that slow, almost lolloping walk of his. And as he comes in towards our table, over to you, John.
Yes, here's a really wonderful example of a very accurate slow waiter. Coming here with this lovely lazy action, and he's about to hand me the menu. You'll notice he's bending as he does so, and he hands me, thank you very much indeed. Richie, did you notice, by the way, that he happens to be a left-hander? Did you notice?
Yes, I did notice that, John. In fact, yes, I thought he was going to transfer it to his right, but he hung on to it with his left, and I think that must be fairly uncommon.
Yes. Perhaps John Hammond can tell us exactly how many left-handed waiters there are in this part of London. And while John's working that out, perhaps we can have a little look at the menu here. There we are.
Yes, well, there it is. I see the ice cream has just gone up. Yeah, I notice also the minestrone and the chicken risotto are back on the menu again. Now, what do you make of that, John?
Well, I'm very pleased to see that minestrone back on there. You know, it's the sort of thing this meal really needed. I'm pleased they've dropped the suet pudding. I'm glad to see that. And I'm frankly quite amazed to see that chicken risotto getting a second chance.
Richie, you had experience of the chicken risotto in Australia last year. What did you think of it then?
Well, Peter, I think it's very easy to underestimate the risotto. I think the ingredients are all there. You could fare a lot worse. Of course, there is the question of the runs to be considered.
I'm very pleased indeed to see that they've decided to drop the fried haddock. Apparently that was found to be off colour late last night, I do.
Yes, of course, if you want something solid, you can't do better than the roast beef with the full weight of Yorkshire behind it.
Yes, all right. Well, personally, there you are. I think I shall go for the minestrone and the chicken risotto with a follow-on.
Well, I'm afraid I'm going to have to stop you there, Peter, because, in fact, Richie has just put his finger right in the mustard there.
Yes, I certainly did there, John. I was just reaching out there to get the olives, and I stuck my thumb in the mustard.
Perhaps we could see that again. Do you think we could see that again? There we are now. The hand is coming on the sauce. Going for the olives and right into the mustard. Right in there. Indeed, that's it. Yes, indeed. Get that little turn off the table. Well, in fact, we're back live now. We're in fact back live. And Joss Hammond has just told me that apparently there are 28 left-handed waiters in this part of London, and 16 of those have beards.
Oh, dear. Now, I'll have to stop you there, John. I have, in fact, now knocked over a glass of beer.
You knocked it right over, did you,
Yes,
Richie?
I certainly did, John. I just reached down, put my hand down on the table, and the whole thing... Now the table is broken. The whole side of it's collapsed, I'm afraid.
Well, this is something I'm sure none of us have envisaged. The complete and total collapse of the side. It's just all just happening. Now, what about this, Peter?
Well, no, that certainly is an extraordinary spell for Richie. I mean, in 30 seconds, he's put his thumb right in the mustard. He knocked over his own beer and smashed the table.
Yes, perhaps Joss Hammond can tell us when this last happened at the El Mambo.
If indeed it ever has.
If indeed it ever has, you're quite... Well, now, the manager is having a word with Richie now, and I think we're being asked to leave.
Yes, I think we are being asked.
Yes, we are being asked to leave. Yes, I'm sure we are.
Yes.
Well, that is the meal. Meal is over. We are now being asked to leave. The manager has now got me by the coat, and Joss Hammond tells me the manager is also a left-hander, and
And now, back to the studio.
This evening, I'd like, if I may, to tell you a story about a chap who was cast ashore on a desert island. Now, oh, by the way, this is not the one about the two Irishmen on a desert island, you know, who found a lifeboat and broke it up to make a raft. No, it's not that one. I'm glad it's not that one, really, because, you know, that's a bit ridiculous. No, this is actually about a chap who was a passenger on a flight to New York. And when they started the film, he'd seen it before on the telly, you know, and he was so disgusted, he got up and walked out. As soon as he lands in the water, he realizes what he's done, you see, and he gets very depressed. Bless my soul, he said, and help. But the people in the airplane, they can't hear him, you see. Well, they're all watching Doris Day and drinking their duty-frees and shouting, "Shut that door." So there he is, being tossed about by the waves and... Oh, sorry, that reminds me. A little wave, if I may, to my mum and dad. No, I like to do that, because actually my mother, you know, still thinks of me as a wee baby. Well, let's face it, you know, I was a wee baby. I spent the first 2 years of my life on a charm bracelet. Now, that's not exactly true, but if I told you the truth, you'd never believe me. Anyway, and she's very proud of me. Just as I was leaving tonight, she looked at me. Her face was radiant and her eyes were shining. I don't know what she's taking, but I wish I could get some of it. And she turned to my dad, who was sitting there sewing a button on his hat. Well, he's had a lot of worry lately. And she said, "Ty, Ty." She calls him Ty, you know, short for Titanic, because she thinks he's a bit of a disaster. She said, "Ty, Ty," she said, "can this be the same little boy who sang 'It's my mother's birthday today' and won the talent contest at the old Holborn Empire all those years ago?" And he said, "No, that was Max Bygrave." But I digress. And our hero, you remember, the chap who walked out on Doris Day, well, he has found himself cast ashore on this desert island, you see. 15 years later, he's sitting on the beach, all alone. Nothing but sand and the sea and the sky, you know. Sounds like a summer season at Cleethorpes, actually, but it makes you wonder what he lived on for 15 years. Credit, I suppose, like the rest of us. So one day, he's sitting there on the beach with nothing but his roughly hewn bucket and spade and his 8 gramophone records, waiting for the tide to come in and fill his little moat. Suddenly, out of the sea, there appeared an apparition. And he was very, very frightened as it flapped its way up the beach towards him, you know. "My God," he said, "it's Ronnie Corbett's wife." No, he didn't. No, he didn't say that at all. I just put that in. I really must stop saying nasty things about my wife, you know. And, I mean, especially as today is our anniversary, I mustn't, you know. I mean, it's just 12 years ago today when she said, "I do." It certainly surprised me, because